Late yesterday afternoon, Midtown Manhattan. The summer heat was still clinging to the glass and the steel of Park Avenue. Normally, just a quiet street with the exception of the honking and possibly the sirens. The sun had just begun to descend behind the skyscrapers when the violence came. It was a man we now know, 27 years old. His name, we don't need to say it now. He got out of a black BMW and he double parked near 51st and 52nd. His movements, as we see on the camera, were calm, deliberate. In his hands was a Palmetto State Armory AR-15 rifle. His target, we didn't know until this morning. His purpose, we didn't know until this morning. All we knew was the carnage that he left behind. He walked into 345 Park Avenue. It's a tower of wealth and power. Blackstone is in there. The NFL is there. Rudin Management. It's the sort of place where the idea of chaos feels very foreign until it arrives. He walks into the lobby and he shoots a New York City police officer in the back, 36 years old. A husband, a father of 3, with a newborn on the way. A protector. Shot in the back while standing post, never even had a chance. And his rifle cracked with rhythm. Another woman cowering behind a pillar, hoping she would be unseen. She wasn't. He gunned her down without any hesitation. Security footage shows him just moving through the lobby like a ghost. Methodical, relentless. A guard behind the desk was next. Then a civilian. Then silence. Well, silence only broken by the sobbing of survivors and the screechings of sirens. He got out of the lobby and he hit the elevators. One opened. A woman stepped out, face to face with him. He let her pass. Why? We don't know. She doesn't know. She'll probably be asking that question for the rest of her life. He takes it up to the 33rd floor. This is Rudin Properties. This is a place that owns a lot of property throughout New York. And there, amid the quiet hum of the fluorescent lights and the cubicle chatter, he fired again and again and again. And another life was taken, another family broken. And then, in one final motion, he turned the rifle on himself. It was 7:52 p.m. last night that the NYPD commissioner, Jessica Tisch, confirmed the scene had been contained. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of some of the office workers that they had just piled up couches and chairs against the doors. The shooter was dead, but the damage was done. 4 dead, 1 officer, 1 guard, 2 civilians, several more wounded. And the city once again left to reckon with a nightmare come to life. You're going to hear all kinds of things. You're going to hear more gun control, yada, 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 but will we ever talk about the real issues here? We know now that he drove cross-country. He came from Las Vegas to New York. He's a security guard by trade. He's a man with a concealed carry permit. Yet he has a history of mental illness. He had a backpack of ammunition, medication, and intent. In his car, they found a revolver, extra magazines, a rifle case. And in his wake, nothing more than grief and confusion and questions. Outside, seemingly completely unrelated, as chaos erupted, 2 protesters were arrested just outside the building, one shouting, "Free Palestine!" And then followed by, "I'm not the shooter." The surreal and the tragic colliding on the sidewalk under blinking police lights and the cold whir of the helicopters overhead. Among the shattered glass, the young officer's body was pulled out by his comrades, taken to the morgue for his pregnant wife to view and bury. This morning, the news broke that we now know he was carrying a note in his pocket. We now know why he went to that tower in New York. He wanted to express his grievance with the NFL because he suffered from CTE, that's the brain injury linked to head trauma. But he wasn't in the NFL. He apparently was a decent football player in high school. No word of whether he went on to play football in college, but his note cited the NFL in the writings. In the note, which was several pages long, he blamed football for his apparent struggle with this neurodegenerative disease, CTE. He shot himself in the chest, and in his note he asked that his brain be studied. He lived in Las Vegas. He had a history of mental illness. This is a tale of insanity, a tale of evil, a tale of broken minds, a tale of innocence destroyed in the place where it was least expected. A skyscraper in New York turned slaughterhouse, and a Monday night that turned to mourning. And once again, people of the country saying, "Oh Lord, how long, oh Lord, how long will this go on?" At the same time, a story from the other side of the country. 3 people are dead, 3 others wounded by gunfire as a man opened fire with a handgun outside of the Grand Sierra Resort Casino in Reno. Police officer was also wounded. Suspected gunman, multiple magazines, shot by responding police. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. They were there within 2 minutes. No motive has been determined so far. The call apparently came in the morning yesterday. We're just hearing about it today. The chief of police said he was seen walking in the parking lot of the casino to the valet area. When he got to the valet area, he just pointed his handgun. The firearm malfunctioned. He was able to address the issue quickly. Then he fired multiple times into a crowd. 1 person died of gunshot injury at the scene. 4 others were taken to the hospital. 1 of the victims died. 2 are still in critical condition. 1 who was shot has already been released. He then went back to the parking lot, traded gunfire with a casino security guard. Then he fired on a person who was just driving through the parking lot, killing them. The police arrived and he started firing at them. They fired back. They stopped him, wounded him, took him to the hospital. We have an epidemic of mental illness in this country. Have you walked the streets of any city in America? Have you walked it? Last time my wife and I were walking down the streets of Manhattan, this is a couple months ago, a black guy on a bike rides towards us, and he begins to circle us on his bike on the sidewalk. We're just minding our own business, walking down the street. He circles us, keeps riding around us, all the while looking me right directly in the eye and pointing with one hand, the other on the handlebars, saying, "I'm going to kill me a white man today. Today is the day I'm going to kill me a white man." Luckily, he noticed that I had 2 armed security people behind us. He recognized maybe they might kill a black man on a bike today. He rode away. The man was clearly unstable. He wasn't the only one. Didn't matter the color. They were nuts. We have become a society that has gone into madness in polite society and not so polite society. We have just sunk into madness. And oh Lord, how much more madness will it take before we stand up and say enough is enough? If you think the use of social media has nothing to do with it, you're wrong. If you think the actual media has nothing to do with this, you're wrong. If you think our school systems have nothing to do with this, you're wrong. If you think our broken families have nothing to do with it, you're wrong. If you think our lack of God in our society has nothing to do with it, you're wrong. If you think the idea that there is no one that you can hold responsible for any action, you're wrong. The vice president was in Cincinnati this weekend, and yesterday, and he was talking about the beating. What is happening to us? And meanwhile, I think it was the mayor of Cincinnati. The police chief, thank you, of Cincinnati, saying this is just social media. Well, it might play a role. It does. Plays a role. So does everything else in our society. But you have to start with personal responsibility. If somebody is beating another person for no reason, I don't care if it's at a concert, the White House, or the Waffle House, you arrest that person. You put them in jail. You prosecute them. You show the rest of the society this isn't tolerated. This is what happens when a society becomes irreligious and immoral. This system of freedom that we have always enjoyed cannot last. There aren't enough laws. You want more laws? Oh, they'll give you more laws. You want to make sure nobody steps out of line? Oh, there is always someone willing to make sure no one steps out of line. Maybe we need more cameras. Maybe we need more surveillance. No, what we need is more morality. What we need is more kindness. What we need is more God. What we need is more sanity. And yet, do you think the media is going to talk about any of that? Nope. Back in a minute. You know what's really wild? The smallest item you carry on your person could actually be the one that makes the biggest difference in an emergency situation. That is the idea of the new compact launcher from Byrna. If you don't think you need one of these, I question your sanity. Honestly, I carry a Byrna because it's non-lethal. I live in Texas. You can literally wear holsters on the sides of your legs. You can wear holsters and carry them like a cowboy. And really, nobody's going to, the people who are transplants from California, they'll look. But I have to tell you, I am a really good shot. But if I see something happen, if I was in that crowd in Cincinnati and I saw somebody beating somebody else, the police chief, and she's right. What about all the people standing around just videotaping? No one called 911. Well, that's the first thing you do is call 911. Okay? But then what do? I'm going to get into a brawl with crazy people? I don't think so. I am going to pull out my Byrna launcher. I am not going to stand around while somebody else is beaten to a pulp. I'm not going to stand because I am not uninvolved. We all have a responsibility, but I am not going to pull out my gun. Because that's just a life of hell. You come into my house, I will pull out my gun. The Byrna launcher, it's now compact. You can wear it in the back. You wear it on the side. In Texas, you could wear it in a holster, and it is compact. It looks just like a gun, and it packs a real punch. It's going to stop a brawl because it packs tear gas. Byrna, BYRNA.com. Go there. Try before you buy at a Sportsman's Warehouse location, but you can find the location at Byrna, BYRNA.com. Check it out right now. Byrna, BYRNA.com. 10 seconds, station ID. Hello, Stu.
Glenn, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fired up today.
Yeah, I mean, isn't everybody just a little sick of it? I'm a little sick of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sick of it. It's fascinating to see all of the reaction to it as well. We're going to get a media cycle of how bad football is out of this. Oh, yeah. For sure. Of course we are. It's going to be blamed on that.
If you kill yourself, I maybe pay attention. If you kill a bunch of innocent people, I don't care.
I don't care what your complaint is. Don't care.
Nope.
Don't care what your complaint is.
Not looking into it.
Not looking into it, not going to take it seriously.
Nope.
In fact, it prohibits me from taking it seriously for an extended period of time.
Yep.
Don't want to hear about your dumb complaints about football. Don't care.
I will turn off any news channel that is talking about CTE.
Yes, shut up.
Yep, I don't need to hear it. Don't need to hear it.
Yep, the same thing with the dope that was assassinating the CEO of the healthcare company. Yep. Don't care about your complaints about healthcare.
Nope.
Don't care.
Nope.
Don't care. That's something that maybe we should consider doing as a civilization. When someone uses violence in a way like this to get their complaint taken seriously, we don't reward that by taking it seriously. Kind of a basic thing. You want to disincentivize violence, not incentivize it. And if someone who is at the end of their rope and thinks they've got nothing to live for and wants to go do this because they think the way they can make a mark on a society is for their point to just gain the prominence it deserves. Well, what we should do is the opposite of that. We shouldn't talk about it at all for a year.
The guy who set himself on fire in front of the VA hospital, remember, in Texas? He didn't take anybody else out. It was a tragic story of mental illness, and he said, that his mental illness had been ignored by the VA, et cetera, et cetera. I talked to his dad, and I talked to him on the air. He didn't hurt anybody else. He hurt himself. Tragic. Awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Awful. Awful. That's a sign of madness. But if he does that, I might take them seriously. You're not hurting anybody else but yourself, so you at least have some decency left. But I'm not listening to you. You take out a bunch of innocent people. No. You're a madman and a murderer. No. Sorry. I don't care. If Jeffrey Dahmer was like, heads are tastier with salt, I'm not listening to that. I don't really care. Jeffrey Dahmer had heads in his refrigerator. I don't care if he was trying to eat people because he wanted to make a message about how cute puppy dogs were. I'm not mentioning cute puppy dogs around anything that's going on with Jeffrey Dahmer at that time. Just saying.
It's a heck of a sentence.
Yeah. Well,
you're not mentioning puppy dogs around anything to do with Jeffrey Dahmer.
If that's what his point was, not going to do it. Not going to do it. And none of us should. None of us should. Mm-hmm. Stop rewarding these lunatics.
This is Glenn Beck.
Oh, I can't take the news on Israel and the starvation that is... No. Famine. The famine that is now going on in Gaza. And even our president, was, I think there is starvation. Well, okay. Israel is constantly under attack. And boy, what a weird thing that they were just talking about a two-state solution. And then at the same time, all of a sudden, there's a famine. Anyway, Israel always has to be prepared. And the simple act of being prepared can mean the difference between life and death over there, and that's why the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is focused on security. They're delivering emergency equipment across Israel, mobile bomb shelters, protective vests for first responders, critical communication gear. They're installing safe rooms in schools and homes. They're providing tools and infrastructure that allow entire communities to stay vigilant, defended, and ready, even in a moment of chaos. Right now, you can help. Learn more about IFCJ and their life-saving work by going online to ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org. Let Israel fight her own war, but we can help the innocent.
Head over to glennbeck.com and subscribe to the free email newsletter. Get all the stories we talk about every day for free. glennbeck.com.
The media is just so bad. We're just sitting there looking at CNN. They're showing these pictures of these, famished children that, they say that they're not being fed. Well, show me the parents, because what's happening is these children are having muscular dystrophy or other ailments, and it's now coming out that it's verified. These are not starving children. If they are, show me their starving parents.
Parents are just well fed.
Yeah, notice that? Have you noticed that? You'll see the parents holding the children, and they're well fed.
How did that happen?
Yeah,
so weird.
I don't know about you, but I feed my children before I feed myself.
Yeah, let's not personalize
Well,
that.
What I'm talking about, when I'm saying me, I mean the royal.
Right, the royal. Okay,
you know what I mean. Pat Gray joins us now. Hello, Pat. How
Hello.
are you?
Oh, great.
Oh, so great, so great, so great. I want to play something from CNN. As they were describing the shooter yesterday, right off of the heels of, look at these starving children and their fat parents. They go right into the shooting and listen to this.
Showing you here, John's reporting that they do know what he looks like. Male, possibly white, mustache, sunglasses, in that building, isolated to, they believe, to various locations.
Possibly white.
Possibly.
Let me translate. White. Hopefully white.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Translate further. Not white.
Well,
very much not white. Impossibly white.
Wait, and you're judging that by what? The photos?
Yeah, by the photos of the guy, of the actual shooter.
Well, he's possibly white.
Not white.
He's possibly.
He's
possibly white.
Quibble with your analysis on that?
Could be in another universe. If he had another parent, he could have been white. He's possibly white.
I will say, though, to be fair to Aaron Burnett, what we see in the video is his face, which is clearly not white.
Right.
However, the rest of his body is covered by clothing.
He
could
entirely.
be up to 90% white.
Yeah, he could be.
We don't know. Possibly white.
White.
We don't know.
That is crazy.
I can't argue with that. I did not see the rest of his body.
Meanwhile, while this is going on in areas like, we got to have gun control, what's happening with crime on our cities? Then the same network is going after Alligator Alley.
Oh, Alligator Alcatraz? Yes.
Yeah. Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah.
This clip is amazing. Sarah Gonzalez on her show was showing this to Pat and I yesterday, and we were just flabbergasted by it. It is a apparently supposed to be the design of the piece is to make you feel bad for people who go to Alligator Alcatraz.
Now let me just ask you, who goes to Alligator Alcatraz?
Criminals. Criminals go to Alligator Alcatraz. People who have, number one, broken our immigration laws and likely have committed other more serious crimes, if you will. They go to Alligator Alcatraz. And it is not a permanent facility. It's a temporary holding facility, which is next to a runway, which has planes on it that take them to other countries where they're supposed to be.
But there's alligators.
But there's
all around.
And again,
surrounding it.
There are alligators within miles of the facility, yes. I mean, it is in an area where alligators may live.
I don't know if you've known this. I've lived in Florida. The whole place is where alligators
may live. Sometimes you look out on your little cul-de-sac and there's an alligator crossing the street.
Whoa, look at that. Alligator. Okay.
People don't say this is my alligator house.
No.
They don't live inside of Alligator Alcatraz. They exist. I mean, in theory, if you escaped and tried to swim across the swamp, you may run into an alligator, like any swamp in the state. Okay.
Yep.
It is not an act. It's just a kitschy name for a place that makes it sound scarier than it is, frankly. It's just at an airport. It's a bunch of tents at an airport. That's what it is.
Okay, show this to me. Here's
here
the video.
This is sad. Sad. Hopeless.
Oh, no.
It's a type of torture.
These are the stories of migrants held at Alligator Alcatraz.
Oh, no.
A new detention facility deep in the Florida Everglades.
Deep.
Using a plan of
It's
the
not on the
site
top of
shown
the
during
Everglades.
President Trump's visit and photos from media tours and social media, CNN created a 3D model taken
my God.
inside the
Why?
site.
When you have the
Hundreds
photos of it.
immigrant detainees are being
Why
held.
would you
Why?
have a 3D
Here
model?
are the giant tents where people report
yeah.
being crammed into cells.
Like,
made
hold
of
on,
my
stop for a
gosh.
second.
There's two.
Like, what they've
in a cell,
done
there's
here-
2 bunk beds.
Yes, what they've done here, as Pat points out, is take an actual photo of the inside of Alligator Alcatraz and then formed it into a 3D model of the same photo. So what you're seeing are a couple of beds, and then there is a 3D model of a couple of beds. What is
that
possibly
bizarre?
the purpose of that?
I think it's to make it more mysterious.
Yes.
It's like, we can't even get a camera in there. Well, you just showed
You
us the
showed
actual
us-
photo. And now you're doing the 3D mock-up.
Look at that.
Why?
Look at that. It's
so great.
superimposed. There's the photo,
there it
and then it
is.
just fades into the 3D model.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Bizarre.
What?
Pat's right.
Can
Pat's
you
right.
imagine using resources on that? It's a. Why would you need that? So they can rotate around the outside of the bed? That is legitimately what they use it for. But there's so much more.
It's so much more impactful this way.
It is.
Go
It
ahead.
is. Okay, here we
into
go.
cells made of chain link fence, packed with bunk beds. CNN
Packed
spoke
bunk
with 8
beds.
detainees to hear firsthand accounts of what conditions are
Oh
like
my
on the
gosh.
inside.
Oh, no.
Some asked not to be named for fear of retribution.
Yeah.
Because of the way that we have been treated, it has been a very terrible experience.
Oh no.
Oh, my
Gonzalo
gosh.
Almanza
Wait, hang on
Valdez.
just a
Oh,
second.
no,
Hang on just a
guys.
second.
You want it to
Let
be
me
a
just
nice
go-
experience
Let
for
me-
him, don't you?
Let me just go back to every torture place you've ever heard. How many times did we get the phone call from Dietrich Bonhoeffer? I mean, where he's like,
Was it 12?
I gotta tell
It was
you,
12
this
times.
is really horrible. This is really horrible.
I don't like it here at all.
I mean, Idi Amin, he's putting people in boxes. We never got the phone call from them.
No, that's not how
Wait
it
a
works.
minute, Edie. You might be torturing me and putting me in a hole, but wait a minute. I demand my phone call to the press.
And as they pointed out, it is true. Some of the people who did this did not want their names to be used. Some of them did. Now,
Yeah.
how many times
Yeah.
have you seen that from when a fascist dictator has imprisoned people and tortured them? They don't usually get to speak at all, but they certainly wouldn't be like, yeah, my name's Bob.
I'm in bunk 74. All right, go ahead.
Detained by ICE when he showed up for a meeting with his probation officer.
Oh, no.
Pause it. He has a probation officer, which leads you to believe he might be on probation, which also leads to he committed crimes. I love that.
All right.
32 people per cell, or per cage, really, because this is a cage.
Yeah.
It's a metal cage strapped in with zip ties.
You'll never
3
get asked
open
that.
toilets are shared by dozens of men who say there's no running water or sewage system. Roger Moreno, who has lived in the
Stop!
U.S.
Stop! That is the same story for many mobile home parks in Florida, surrounded by alligators.
That's a very good point. It's also true of every concert festival I've ever
Right.
been to,
Right.
right? They don't have running, but they do have a lot of people sharing the bathroom. It's
Right.
not the prettiest situation, but
And the chain link fence is held together by those all ever defensive zip ties.
zip ties.
You can never get out of those.
Do you remember all the reports from World War II when Himmler was saying we used zip ties on the cell? I don't. Also, it's such they use the word cages as if that's worse than cells. Like, is it? Is a chain link cage, which would be a holding facility, worse than a cell with steel bars?
No.
And concrete walls?
No,
Like,
this
if
would be
anything,
more
it
open.
would be more open and better.
Yeah.
But they use it in the opposite way to make it. It's actually basically cages.
And they say, 87 people to the cage. Look at the size of the cage.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at the size.
It's massive.
Yeah, they've got 87 bunk beds. I mean, did you see the one in, where was it, El Salvador, where there's like 60 people on a bunk?
Right. Like that.
That's
That's
not
a different.
this situation.
Not
No.
at all.
All right, go ahead.
are shared by dozens of men who say there's no running water or sewage system. Roger Moreno, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 30 years, told CNN the rain makes it worse.
The toilets, when it rains, they overflow, and the cells we're in fill up with sewage.
Every time it's a raining storm, the toilets clog up.
Detainees told CNN the lights are kept on 24 hours a day.
Because I have to personally put a rag on top of my head to at least try to take a nap because the lights are so bright. There's 24 LED lights in the roof, and it's like shining bright.
Now, stop for a second. Now, I wasn't familiar with the right to nap when you're being held in a facility like this.
I mean, you would want the lights to maybe go down unless you were afraid of a shiv. Let me go back to the next guy who is also has a criminal record to tell us about how horrible this is. Go ahead.
And it's like shining bright.
Juan Palma Martinez has lived in the U.S. for more than 20 years and was also picked up by ICE at a routine meeting with his probation officer.
Oh, wait, what, Pat?
Another one picked up at a meeting with his probation officer.
Now, what could possibly be the reason he would be visiting a probation? Maybe he's just friendly with them? You know?
I don't think so.
Like, hey, my man. Hey, my probation officer. Maybe it's slang of some. Is there some slang being used?
I know of. It usually indicative of committing crimes.
That's interesting.
It was a visit.
It was a visit.
It wasn't an appointment.
Right.
It was a visit.
A visit. A little visit. There you go.
All right, go ahead.
Know when it's daytime or when it's nighttime. I don't sleep. It's affecting me mentally and physically.
The tents aren't sealed.
Okay, stop for a second. I just want to rewind what he just said here, okay? Or just review. He said he can't tell if it's nighttime or daytime. That's a complaint. Now, you could say that could be like a problem, right? Like, I mean, it would be weird to not be able to detect that. Yeah. Listen to the literal next complaint they have.
I no longer know when it's daytime or when it's nighttime. I don't sleep. It's affecting me mentally and physically.
The tents aren't sealed. You can see cracks in this image.
Okay, stop! If you can see cracks, that means you could see the outside and would be able to detect whether it's daytime or nighttime.
I love the fact that they have President Trump and Ron DeSantis, or I mean, it's not Ron. Yeah, that's Ron DeSantis standing there on a tour with the press of this facility.
Right.
Like we're not hiding it.
They did not need the 3D mock-up.
No.
Where
is the 3D model with the 3D rendered Trump in that? No, I'd like to know.
This is what we believe the president looks like.
Go ahead.
In this image. And at the height of the hot Florida summer, that means the insects are relentless.
Oh, no.
Yesterday, the air conditioning went out.
The air conditioning.
We had the whole morning without air conditioning.
The whole morning.
Lots of mosquitoes came in.
Days without it. Our air conditioning has gone down in our house, and I've had days without air conditioning.
In this very building, the air conditioning has gone out.
For like a month.
For a month.
It took a month to fix it.
And we suffered every day with
awful.
it.
Not to mention, the entire continent of Europe has no air conditioning.
Right.
Probably your home back from wherever you came from
has no air
doesn't have air conditioning.
And I would guess lots of bugs, right? Lots of insects in tropical climates.
All right, back in just a second. Thank you, Pat. Pat Gray Unleashed. RealestateAgentsITrust.com. Have you ever tried jumping into onto a moving train while juggling several flaming torches and a box of glass ornaments at the same time? No, you haven't. Impossible. Have you ever tried to sell your home? It can be like that, except more expensive. There is so much at stake, so many ways to get it wrong, bad pricing, bad photos, bad advice, and it all costs you. That's why I always tell people to start with realestateagentsitrust.com. This is my company. It's not a search engine that spits out random realtors. It is a network of experienced full-time professionals who have been vetted for success, integrity, and the ability to actually get your house sold or help you find the right one. There is a difference with the members of our audience. You know that, and I know that. If you've ever met it, I mean, you know who they are. That's where we start. All these real estate agents, do you listen to the Glenn Beck program? Are you a member of the Glenn Beck audience? That way you have that initial thing in common with them, and you know you're not going to be like They're not going to be offended when you say, "Where's the master bedroom?" How dare you? You should be locked up in an alligator cage. Realestateagentsitrust.com. They're going to get you get the house sold and the house that you want to buy on time for the right amount of money. It's realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com.
You ever seen a liberal's hands? Smoother than a snake on oil. Guess they're more worried about the meaning of the word female than the word work. Glenn Beck will be right back.
Well, let me tell you about Chef IQ. This is great. I mean, if you're standing over a stove or a grill and you're sweating, and if you've ever done that, I mean, Texas. We just talked about how hot it is in Florida. Texas, same way. You're checking and you're rechecking everything you're trying to cook on the grill, and you finally cut into it, and you cut it in half. It's like overdone, or the other half is like barely touched, and this is a nightmare, and it's a zillion degrees. And I will say this is the best thing about Chef IQ Sense, because it's a smart wireless sensor that takes all the stress and guesswork out of cooking. No matter what you're cooking, Chef IQ Sense helps you nail it every time, just like a professional. Just insert the sensor into whatever you're cooking, and you open the Chef IQ app, and you pick exactly how you want it cooked. If you want it medium rare, you pick that. While your food is cooking, Chef IQ Sense can track the internal temperature and predict the precise moment it is ready. You get it right every time. You don't have to sit over the grill and sweat to death. It is brutal in the summer. You don't have that with Chef IQ. It's awesome. You need to jump on this. It's summer grilling season, of course, is here. Chef IQ Sense makes you a grill master, and during their flash sale, you get 15% off right now. Visit chefiq.com. Use the promo code BLAZE. It's chefiq.com. The promo code is BLAZE at chefiq.com.
Have you seen the crime in Detroit in Maryland is way down. Detroit, you're on your own, sorry. But the crime in Maryland is way, way down.
Is that because they keep removing Maryland fathers?
Yes.
That's why.
No, it's not.
No.
It's because, the George Soros DA was voted out. New DA is in. Crime has dropped 60%.
What's the difference? Are there a difference in policy of some sort?
A little bit. Now, There is a discussion with the socialist-leaning mayor, who is like, what we need we need fewer police, but we need, doctors out there to, I don't know, talk people down. I have no idea out of their crime, but the DA is like hard nosed now, and is going at you break the law, you go to jail, and they think that that's what's causing the crime to go down. I think they're probably right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. The mayor says, no, it's just that we're being also nicer to criminals. I don't think that's making the crime go down.
You don't think being nicer to criminals?
No.
But I mean, we just heard from the poor victims of Alligator Alcatraz.
No, I don't think that's going to help.
You don't think it's going to help?
No, not if we corrected it. I say we go ahead and we have the tent, and we show that that's what your life is going to be like until you get on a plane and you go bye-bye to your house, to your home, to where you belong. No.
You're saying we should disincentivize crime?
I'm saying it's a crazy old-fashioned idea. Yeah. That seems to be working in places like Maryland, Baltimore, not the easiest place to live, but it seems to be getting easier by the tune of about 60% fall in crime. I don't know. That sounds like a good plan. Maybe we should try that elsewhere.
This is Glenn